You
A
sure
little bit of community pride, that's your brain.
Even with curly hair. Which one of you guys posed for this picture?
Yeah.
Looks like Jerry Lawson.
All right.
Thank you, Joe.
Next on the agenda, Ron Gregory to give an update on the Lincoln PSD.
Well, with the exception of Patty and Sean, there's nobody I get in the canoe with and get on the river, but, anyway.
It's Sean.
Afraid to take ground?
I'm afraid I would never make it out. And this is Ray Keener, who's our attorney at the district. Well-known cemetery attorney, if anybody's looking for one. The Lincoln PSD is working on several projects. Jeff Eldridge was going to be here, and I'm not sure what has happened to him, but he's taken the lead on with KK from the county commission on the sewer project. He has asked for a meeting with the engineer we have on that project, and then says that we will have a meeting with the funding agencies at the state, as him as a member of the state legislature. That is the project that would do Allen Creek, basically it's itself, what I would call the major parts of Allen Creek. And we do believe it can be done in 3 phases. And the first phase would get all the businesses, basically, and homes between them and Allen Creek. So we're working on that project. We are also on the Woodville Alco project, which I'm sure everybody thought we forgot about. We have gotten a certification from our accountant that we can go forward with the project based on the number of signups we presently have, which is about 290. One of the issues that I know you've heard about repeatedly, and I'm surprised the person's not here to tell you about it again, is the number of people that really will be served by the Alpha Woodville project. I'm not absolutely confident what that number is either, but what, as you probably know, what the funding agencies require is for an accountant to say that X number of customers will pay the bills and maintain the system. So 290 is the number that was arrived at by Michael Griffith as to the number that we needed, and we have those. What we do not still have is right-of-way or easement agreements with about 10 property owners. We met at the Mud River Fire Department for our last meeting, which was last Thursday. And at that time, we gave out a list of the 10 property owners that we're have at least talked with, but have not ever signed. And Mr. Lovejoy from the fire department has told us since that he's talked to all 10 property owners and they're all agreeable to sign. Now, I'm not going to represent that to you because I know we have one who keeps calling our office demanding more and more money. It started out at about, he wanted $800 for us to cross his property, and then he wanted $2,000, and now he wants $8,000. And the project can't go without going through his property. So we instructed Mr. Keener at last Thursday's meeting to give property owners until the 15th. We will make another attempt to go down there and talk to them. But the ones that don't sign, that he file for eminent domain, so we can cross the property, and then a court will decide what a fair price is. And we told everybody that at that meeting down there. We tried to circulate it since to make sure that everybody knows. But we can't, and I'm sure you all agree with this, we can't let that project sit much longer and not do something. The Infrastructure Council could theoretically at any moment just say, well, you've not started on it, we're gonna give that money to somebody else. They've certainly assured us they won't do that, but they could. And so what we want to do is bid it in July and open the bids and be ready for construction, or at least breaking the ground in September. So that's where that project is. The Mud River project that, and I guess I'm giving it the right name, Rick. It's Lower Mud River. And I don't know if I've ever been to Upper or Lower Mud River, but anyway, Lower Mud River. We had an opportunity to get an additional $1 million from the federal government on that project. And again, without going into the detail about our personnel operations at the PSD, what is called a gov.com number. I don't know, 40 years of government, I never heard of a gov.com number. But according to the people, and I don't know if Mr. McCann, have you heard of that?
Just now.
The federal government requires, USDA for example, requires you to have a gov.com number in order to award you money. And we had one, the Lincoln PSD had one until October 2013, at which time somebody inadvertently omitted it. And so we had to go through Senator Rockefeller and with Delegate Eldridge's help, and we were able to get it back in 2 days, and we're supposedly getting the extra $80 on the Lower Mud project. So we have also had, as I probably wouldn't have to report to anybody, personnel issues that we have addressed in what we believe is the appropriate manner. We, the district, employed a private investigator first by the name of John Casey to look into our operations and what had gone on. He has filed a report that does include possibilities of improprieties, and those have been provided to the appropriate law enforcement agencies. I think, if I say much more than that, Mr. Keener will be kicking me, but I'm also, as I've always said, Sean, First Amendment believer, so I really like to tell everybody everything. I think there's some issue as to whether I can or not, but we have turned all the information over to the appropriate law enforcement. We have instructed our employees to be cooperative with our own private investigators and the law enforcement agencies. We have been contacted, board members have since the investigation began, and we don't believe, certainly, first of all, I can try to reassure you that we don't believe any board members have committed any impropriety, which would need to come to your attention, and we know that if they have. And I believe that we would provide the county commissioners copies of that investigation report if you want them. In fact, I think Mr. Keener has a couple of copies here tonight. So we would turn them over to the county commissioners if you'd like to see them. So I guess that's one question I have. Do you all want to see the investigative reports?
I don't particularly, but I will make these comments, since it's been brought to my attention this last week, is you know, a former former member of the PSD board over there and another member of the Allen Creek community contacted me about possible problems that are there. But I think if this, you know, if you have an investigation going on and things like that, I'll leave it at that till we find out what's going on. I just wanted to make sure that those people that did contact me, that I told them I would bring it up, because you were going to be here tonight, but I will leave it at that based upon what you've already said. I think that we will look at you know, the results of that when it's appropriate.
And we did ask, in addition to the investigator, we have asked a CPA to audit all the accounts and all the books, and he's in the process of doing it.
And you all are in compliance with open meeting laws and sunshine, all those type things. I mean, you all have been following those rules. I mean, I know you're familiar with them. Some members of certain commissions and committees aren't, but I just wanted to make sure that all those were being followed and things of that nature. And that all actions taken by the PSD are reflected in the minutes of the meeting and things of that
And
nature.
we won't even have lunch together, two of us, so we adhere to the Kanawha County rules on that, which is.
Don't ride around the vehicle together.
Oh, we've done that.
That's one of the calls I got.
Could I ask, is there a general manager at the moment? Because,
John Rife is still the acting general manager.
okay.
Thank you.
How many board members do you have now? Do we have two or do we have three?
We have only seen two in the last 3 months. We have not seen Bruce. And I've called him several times and he hasn't called me, so I don't know what the status of that
I think he,
is. I don't even know if he was reappointed. Was he reappointed last year?
According to the information that we received from Secretary of State, he was listed, and according to the minutes, he was. I think I went through everything. But, thank you, Ron, appreciate it. Next on the agenda is discussion of concerned possible action, review and appointments of Homeland Protection Board. I spoke with Brittany Dow earlier. They had a meeting. I think we requested that they recommend 2 people from the list of applicants. I think that their next meeting is going to be on June the 17th, maybe?
That's Tuesday?
It's a Tuesday.
That's what it is.
June the 17th, so I'd like to table this until our next meeting, June the 19th, where they can give us a recommendation.
Could you tell me the names to be considered?
Yes, it's on the agenda right here. It would be
It's
David
not on the-
Vickers.
It's not on the agenda that the public gets.
Okay, well, we need to make sure the public gets the same agenda that we do.
Well, we
It
get
it
a
is the
brief-
same, it's just a slightly condensed version.
Okay,
so
well, let's, David Vickers,
Uh-huh.
Larry Bays, Stephen Billups, and a Darren Keeling.
And are we assuming that all these people, know that the group meets once a month, and it's a morning meeting and all this kind of stuff?
If not, if you would like to call them and remind them of that, if they want to pull their name, they can, before you all review who you want. I think Mary could possibly give you a copy or of their phone numbers.
Addresses, maybe I feel more comfortable sending everybody a letter.
That's fine, it's whatever you feel comfortable doing. But is there a motion to table this until the next meeting? I second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the table, please say aye. Aye. That being unanimous, the motion carries. Next, we're at Zach Browning regarding the Mud River Water Project. Mary, can you get
I'm here this evening with a drawdown for the Lower Mud River project. This is a drawdown for the County Commission's grant that they awarded towards the money. It's to pay an engineering invoice from E.L. Robinson for design work that has been done on the project so far. The total of the invoice is $342,500. The U.S. Corps of Engineers matches 75%, the Commission's 25% on all these drawdowns. Therefore, the Licking County Commission's portion would be $85,625. I have the invoice with me and just a resolution for the County Commission authorized payment of their portion of that.
Okay. We have a motion to authorize the payment.
so moved.
Second.
All right. Is there any discussion? All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. That being unanimous, motion carries.
Also, I have the copy of the Lincoln County Commission grant or application that you signed at last month's meeting, just for your files. I can hand it to Mary if you want. And also, just what Mr. Gregory was saying, I'm thinking he might have meant sam.gov is the number that they need to get, that he was saying gov.com. I've seen that they've signed up on the system. You might want to verify that the commission has also signed up for it. It's something that's just started within the last year. That's why a lot of people haven't heard of it. I'm not sure what the process is.
SAM?
Yeah, it stands for System of Award Management.
That's, does each county, I guess, entity have to have their, like, 911, that's the letter we just signed, the 911 have that SAM's number. Now, the director of 911 told me that we couldn't have a, like, he's the account holder of that for the county.
Okay, so the
Is
commissioners
that
would just run
the
through there?
same? Will that be
Yeah,
okay?
we would just run through that.
Okay,
Okay.
I wasn't sure about that, but I just thought I'd bring it up just in case.
If not, we'll just call and verify that with him.
Sure.
Okay.
He replied, so he should have written chairman, not general manager.
Side track. It's front page.
So what was $1 million he was talking about? That's probably-
I hadn't heard of that. Yeah, I'm not sure what funding source there, but just maybe an earmark from Congress today.
It's rural utility services, the RUS. They've already got money in the project, and in order to try to get it moving, they are attempting to give it some additional grant money.
Okay.
That's good. All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
All right, if we don't have anything else, let's hit a new